Michael Galime. Good morning, Michael Galime.
How you doing?
How are we doing?
Doing great.
It's crisp out there, crisp and cool.
Crisp, yes.
All right, have you taken I see a video you put out. You put out a video, and let's play a little clip of the video, which is on your Facebook page. So clearly you've taken a stance here.
I guess. I'm going to go back to what we talked about 2 years ago when we started talking about. But, yeah. A questioning stance.
A questioning stance.
Yeah, if you think back when I was campaigning,
Mm-hmm.
you're the first person who asked me about this hospital publicly. And I've always thought that, look, we need to actually think about very important things in a critical manner. I'm sure those were, but I still am not sure that the city had an appropriate seat at the table when those things were being considered.
Yeah. Is the Common Council unaware of the details? And have you had any conversation with maybe like Assemblyman Brindisi?
I'm going to be honest. We're unaware of many details.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is.
The mayor seems all in on downtown. He is all in on downtown.
Well, no, I mean, there's many people that are all in on
it.
There's a lot of people who are just 100% for it. But that's the thing. There's like three camps. There's a blatant no. There's a blatant yes. And then there are a lot of people in the center who really want to see the project happen, but want to think about things like the businesses. They want to think about things like the 25 acres coming off the tax rolls. They want to think about the things such as the unknown city contributions that we've been told are probably going to happen towards the project.
There is commerce down there, but you know as well as I do, there are just dilapidated buildings,
of course.
and it will take years.
And I don't want to pitch an alternative for that district because obviously, look, somebody has already decided what they want to try and do down there. So I don't want to stand in front of that. But I think that the city has neglected that area for a long time. And part of the Route 12 project, I remember when we started that, was when those three intersections were cleaned up. The next stop was supposed to be, okay, let's pay attention to that district that we're reconnecting to Genesee Street and the Brewery District. So, yeah, it's dilapidated, but, I don't think dilapidation or the perception of ugly is any reason to knock something down. If there's a lot of commerce going on, I think that those businesses need to be appropriately considered, even if the hospital is built downtown.
Yeah. How many active businesses would be relocated?
There's about 30 businesses down there, but I could run through a list of, 15 businesses just offhand like I did in the video.
Sure.
I mean, there's all kinds of things that you don't think about, like ABC ChemDry, or even something like Salvation Army that does provide a service. Where are they going to go?
Well, there are also businesses that are excited about this opportunity.
Yes, so that's
this is why, because think about it, they're hoping that
some businesses are going to want to sell.
If the government does what they say they're going to do, they will be paid a decent price for the property, which they probably couldn't sell.
That's the thing. No government official should ever stand in the way of a private business buying another private business to build something. That's not what I want to do here, because there's three camps. There's businesses that don't want to sell. There's businesses that will sell because they have to, even though they don't want to leave that area. And then there's businesses that
say this is our opportunity.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for them.
Yeah.
But the reality is, what I've seen over the past 2 years, even going back to MV500, is that our local officials, this area as a whole, they're looking at that area and calling it functionally obsolete. I have, local leaders who say there's only two businesses down there. You know what I mean? There's no real consideration for actually what's down there, and that's in part what was my motivation for some of this.
Have you been to the
so that they may be appropriately considered.
Did you go to any of the recent hearings that they held, the public
hearings?
I did.
I had somebody that that works with me closely at the first one, and I attended the second one at 5 o'clock.
And did any of your questions get answered there?
None of my questions were answered. I think actually that forum really solidified and pushed me over to actually creating a message like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you feel that there's not enough transparency?
It's not just transparency. I think they're being transparent about how they're going about it. Clearly the county worked with the hospital. The city had some quasi-seat at the table, and they planned a downtown hospital.
Yeah.
There's people that have been left out of the conversation, and some of those people are these businesses, and I think they should be in the know.
I was under the understanding that a lot less businesses were going to be torn down or needed to be torn down for the project, and that was a result of that meeting. Is that correct?
No.
Like the police station isn't going to be taken out, or wasn't there other businesses?
That was always in and out.
Well,
I mean,
some thought the police station might be.
What I found out at the meeting was that now it's actually extending to Rockford Auto and Eggers, Carl, and Corrigan even. So from my perspective, it was increased a little. But it's not just the businesses. There's really three things I'm concerned with. Again, the 25 acres off the tax rolls, and the city contribution towards that. That's where I feel the local leadership from the city of Utica needs to stand up and really, say, if you're going to do this, how is this going to work? Because we have a city budget. We have liabilities. We have tax revenues. We have to make this work in the long term. And the reality is 25 acres are coming off the tax rolls, and there's going to be a large loss in sales tax as well.
And you think it's about 30 tax-paying businesses down there?
Yeah, roughly. I mean,
I'll be honest.
There are some leased businesses that don't even that are totally not considered because they don't own the building.
I guess I'm a little confused because you're calling attention to the businesses that would be affected and ones that don't want to sell, and the fact that the property's coming off the tax roll. But then at the same time, you're like, I don't want to oppose this. I don't want to stand in the way of it when someone has a plan for down there. So what are you looking for?
I'm looking for a more open conversation. I didn't just make this video. I met with Page Group. I discussed with them different options and how they could work with the businesses. Look, I've been told up until now, I've been asking these questions internally, that these things are being done, and I don't believe they are, and I think it's just being mishandled up to this point. So here's what I'm worried about at this point. It's been almost a year and a half. What I did learn at that forum is the hospital still doesn't have their application to the state. Maybe I'm sitting here 2 weeks later and they do. But what I'm really worried about
I believe that. I think they do.
They may now because they said it was within the next couple weeks. The ball is rolling on this, okay? And if they're going to do this, they need to figure it out and really start to coordinate on things that are going to become issues in the long run, like seeker, like the city contributions, like how are we going to deal with the tax loss? Because what's going to happen if this project does get mishandled and it doesn't happen downtown, and now we've convinced all those businesses to leave? Now we've got a serious problem down there. Because right now, it's a little dilapidated, but there's a lot of actual commerce. What I'm worried about is this thing actually doesn't go off the way everyone's saying it does, okay, and we then have a bunch of businesses that want to leave.
I'm not sure that would end up happening because you'd have to buy the businesses to get them to leave, right? And nobody's going to leave without a deal.
Conversation.
What's that?
We've started the conversation.
Right, I guess. But I'm just saying that in order for them to if I'm a business owner down there,
it's a quandary.
I'm not going to leave unless they pay me. They buy my property. So I'm not sure that would necessarily happen unless, of course, this thing turned into an AMS. And,
two things.
One, the state walked on us.
Well, I mean, if you look up what they've done in New Jersey, I'm trying to think of the city now with the new hospitals. It is really nice, these new facilities they built. They're amazing. Yeah. They're amazing. Yeah. Okay.
So you're not of the belief that this is going to destroy downtown?
No, I'm behind the hospital appropriately using that state funds to build a new hospital. I'm just saying that, look, we need to actually figure out if it's really going to... They're planning it right now. Seeker hasn't been done. There's a lot of things that haven't been done that could stop a project like this. And I just think that because it's a government-funded project driven from intent and want and not completely born on necessity, which nothing ever really is, that maybe we're doing things a little out of order. And I wanted to change the conversation, and I think this video did. And like I said, I think there's some things that need to be considered.
So at the end of the day, your goal is to just get people talking about this.
Yeah, I want
open the conversation.
And here's the other thing I want to state about this video. This is a way I'm going to communicate on different issues. This isn't some one-off. I want public discourse. I want people to think about things appropriately. I don't want people just yes or no, because I see people argue like that all the time, and they just repeat everything back and forth to each other. Nothing's ever understood on either side. So we just have to say, look, things are happening. We got to talk about it. We got to work on the real issues. When we make a decision and it's sorted out and it's real, fine.
Yeah.
But look, if Seeker's not done, it's not a done deal.
Right.
And I'm worried about that.
All right. Interesting, Mike Galime. Appreciate it. And the video certainly caught our attention. Let's see if this opens up the conversation.
Yeah, I think it has.
All right.